Moin, lovely people. So this will be the first tutorial that we are doing in English. We will try our best not to confuse the body parts, but we think that it might be easier for you to understand us speaking English than YouTube translating our Acro language.
So today we show you the whip from bird to handbird, and it's quite a tricky move, but with the right technique and tempo we are very convinced that you can do this. As a prerequisite you need a Tarzan whip, and something else. Handbird would be also a great idea.
So when we learn a new whip, we usually start with a whip calibration, meaning that we just do some Tarzan whips to get calibrated, to make things easier. And we also recommend you to do that as well. Could look like this. And 2 in a row. Okay.
And if you do not know how a Tarzan whip goes, we recommend to actually look up some latest videos about the whips and really do this. So take it as an exercise before we come to a whip into handbird.
Because the clue of this whip is that you need enough momentum to be able to come up high with your upper body, like behind the base's legs. If you cannot do that in a normal whip, it will be really hard for you to get this trick done into handbird because the momentum will be missing for you.
Little pre-exercise. So I'm trying to touch your hands behind you. Okay. Yeah, nice.
So you probably saw how far I can actually lift my upper body before I go back to the bird. And practice that to be able to come up high.
Very nice. So, how do we start? Maybe we explain like the position where we're gonna go over into this handbird position. So I'm stretching my legs, waiting for Sarah.
I can step over him and place my forearms, like pretty much the middle of my forearm, maybe a little more towards the elbow, on Yannick's feet, right in the middle of his feet.
As you see, my feet are flexed now. When I point her, there's actually, there's actually not a lot of space to put her forearm on. So when I'm flexed, there's enough space that she can actually push against.
What you do with your hands doesn't really matter. I have them crossed like this. You can also hold them, have them like this, however you prefer.
Namaste.
This is the most easiest for me. And then you try to lift your feet. So really try to lift up, push through your shoulders so you can lift here, because this is the position that you want to go to after the whip. Because since your upper body comes through here, you want to place your forearms on the feet. So get that position first so your body already knows where it wants to go.
When you're in this position and want to lower down to the handbird, it could be like two ways. One is a little more difficult, like I'm stretching my legs, stretching my arms, and wait for her until she's doing a job to come down. That's easy for me because I have straight arms and straight legs. But to make it more fluent and actually a little bit, easier for both, I can lower my legs and then it's only like a little, how does it mean?
Bending?
Yeah, bending to come down here. So it's not that high. Yeah.
And for me, I want to open my crossed arms. Like when I have them like this, I want to open them on the side of my body. Hope you can see that. So as soon as he lowers his legs and grabs my hip, I can move my elbows to the back, lean forward with my upper body, straddle my legs even more, present my hip, and then lift up my legs and my upper body to come to the handbird position. And
when she's up into a handbird position and gets a little bit too much of rotation to the front action, I can actually stop her by squeezing in my legs and hold her so that she's not going over.
Yes, because sometimes when you really have a lot of momentum in the whip, it's actually not that hard to get up anymore, but it's hard to stop the rotation, as Yannick said. So that's a really nice way to stop it.
So explain it from the beginning.
So we show you the full thing.
Yeah. Full trick to Handbird.
So what happens? Now, since you already know the end part, from this here to the Handbird, you're only missing the whip to this position. And what's important for that is the momentum, as we said before, but also for you as a flyer, the pike. I can't say it often enough probably, if you don't pike enough, you won't be able to get up. Because imagine, like, when this is you, and this is your hip right here, and you bend into the whip. This is where you have your pike. And then it goes further, and if you open that pike, your upper body won't be able to come up. It will just be hanging here, not being able to like roll over. But if you have your legs still on the feet of the base, you can kind of like swap your thighs with your forearms. So the thighs roll down from the feet. Imagine like my thigh is here in the whip, and it kind of like rolls down from the foot, and at the same time my forearm is rolling onto the foot, giving me the possibility to still be up here with my upper body.
As a base, you can support this movement. So the whip just goes up, and I want to straighten my leg to actually give some acceleration to the air, up to the ceiling, so it's easy for her to do this movement. When I'm just doing the whip and stay bent, it's only like her fall from the bird into the whip that comes like with the energy to actually change the position. When it's more like I go down, I go up again, there's actually an upcoming movement for her to use it.
Yes.
But still, don't forget to bend again to come into Handbird.
And also that moment of straightening the legs is like a very tiny second where you have the possibility of doing that, because if you do it too early, you will actually stop the momentum and not, like, your flyer won't be able to come up. So yeah, train those tempos and calibrate those whips to be able to come together with that trick.
And if this tempo or this like movement of me is like a little bit too strong, it's actually more like a pop into Handbird, and this is also not that nice for, well, there is, but if you're advanced, give it a try, send us a video.
We do it again, and then afterwards we will do a slow-mo for you to being able to see it a little more detailed.
For a trick?
Yeah.
Okay, what about stopping in this position? Is it possible?
Where?
Yeah, in this one? Yeah. Fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so she's holding her pike, smiling at me, so it's not that exhausting, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that most of the time, like, the biggest problem that we see with our students is not being able to place those forearms on the feet, but rather grabbing with the hands. And that is usually a sign that your whip is not high enough, that you need more momentum, or that your pike is not strong enough, because your legs already roll down the feet before your forearms can be placed on the feet. So yeah, make sure to get that momentum and to hold that pike as long as you can. Like, you don't want to open it until the base hands are on your hips already. Actually, we just want to add one or two more things that we just thought of. So what we also noticed is that sometimes as a flyer, you feel like you actually have to pull up and like use those arm muscles to be able to come up there, but that's really not necessary. When the momentum is there, it kind of happens by itself. And what helps some of our students is to bend the legs in the whip. I know this is not the pretty version of it, but it helps to just get the idea of that movement. We just want to show you once, and maybe that helps you to actually get to the full trick in the end.
As a base, I do the same. Okay.
just give it a try if the other one is difficult for you.
I recognize that actually when there's enough swing of the whip, I'm nearly straight in my legs. It's like those micro bands to actually protect your knees, what I do. But if the swing is like very, very good, you can like straighten them and then it flutes into the hands. So there are two ways where like bending your legs is actually very important when you're like on the top, but then not having enough swing to come over. Can we show this? Mm-hmm. So like not that powerful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you're here, yeah, and she's up, then I bend and come here.
Yes.
And then one where we have like normal energy and swinging over. Yeah. Then I'm more like straight with my legs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, figure out what helps you. It's always like, well, the length of the legs is like always a little different. Mine are super long. Maybe you have to bend, maybe you have to straighten more. So see what helps you the most and enjoy.
Now we just quickly want to show you how the spotting for this trick works, and Frida's there to help us today. So actually it's not really a big difference to spotting a normal whip. And in a normal whip, I would like stand behind here with my legs really wide, so I have a good stand. And I would just spot the first part, like the whip from Frida. And as soon as she is leaning onto the feet and going into the handbird, that's their job then to spot themselves.
So what I'm doing is like I hook my feet around her calves or her, to stop her from like rotating over. And when she's going too far, she can also spot herself to using the hands. Mm-hmm. So we do the full trick.
Yes, I'm behind her, waiting for the whip. Yes.
So behind, as you can see, I can like lower and bring her up.
And in case she is leaning too far over, she has her own hands to support herself. Yep.
Perfect.
Thank you.
We hope that we were able to help you with this trick, and if you liked the video, please let a thumbs up or two there and subscribe our channel.
And if you want to support us to be able to film more tutorials for you, you can give us a donation. The link is in the description below, and we will use that to pay for this room, for example.
And if you have any wishes for the upcoming tutorials, just please let us know in the comments below.
And next time we will show you a washing machine called Whirly Gig.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bist du bereit? Wir versuchen das jetzt mal, ja?
Ja, warte. Okay. Ready when you are.